Hello everyone, and today's something a little bit different. We're just going to be doing a quick run through of all of the whiskey that I currently have sitting around in my collection. So let's not beat about the bush, let's kick off because I said I'd do this the other day. Right at my feet we've got a few. Glendronach 18-year-old, amazing heavily sherried whiskey. Lagavulin 8-year-old, this will actually be Whiskey Wednesday's review, so when you tune in on Wednesday this will be what I'm talking about. Got a lot to say about that. Jefferson's Groth Reserve Cabernet Sauvignon finish, a bit of a drunken auction win, but awesome little bourbon. Got Baby Stag, Spring 2013 release, 134.4 proof or 67.2%. Salty, chocolatey kind of big old bourbon. We've got some old Macallan 10 left, it's pretty interesting. Got a cash strength 22-year-old Mortlach from Hunter Lang, only 240 bottles made of that, it's pretty cool. Put that over there, so it's safe. A split with a friend, got a Bruichladdich 11-year-old 50% single cask, all sherry. By all means, if you want to see me review that, give me a comment. 1991 French red wine finished Bow Blair, I think bottled around 22 or 23 years old. I actually bought that off Joe when he used to work for Hard to Find Whiskey, so there you go, little nod to Joe. A single cask official Bruichladdich 12-year-old, bottled at 62.6%, first fill sherry, and bottle split with a friend, so I only got a small bit of that, but it was an awesome, really toffee style. Sticking with Bruichladdich, a couple of years ago they did an MP release, the first MP release, and I've got a couple of bottles here. So we've got a first fill bourbon 10-year-old from organic Chalice Barley at 63.6%, big old powerful thing. We have a quadruple distilled first fill bourbon Optic at 64%. It's essentially an unpeated baby optimal. Then we also have a 23-year-old first fill bourbon at 52%. And I've actually got the large bottle of that because I bought it just over there. So I'll get to that one again later on. Moving to this wonderful table. Caligula 18, big old Isle of whiskies. Love a little bit of that. Fantastic stuff. Single cask Dalyuen 12, really heavily sherried, really dark. As you'll see as a ring theme, I love Dalyuen, so I've got a couple of those kicking around. Cash strength Laphroaig 10, got to be done on it. Batch number 8, 59.2%, what you want. Big, intense, smoky, spicy Laphroaig with a huge finish on the end of it. 1994 vintage Glenfarclas, 20-year-old, bottled in 2014, bottled especially for the whiskey shop, so it's a one-off for those guys. There's only like I think 2,000 bottles, 2,500 bottles I think. Really special. It's the only Glenfarclas I've ever actually really enjoyed, but if you want me to review that, and I will eventually anyway, I'll talk about more in that video. A Lost Soul, Glendronach 15, won't see it again until 2018, it's really quite upsetting, but got a little bit left, aim to keep a little bit for when the new bottling has come out, do a side-by-side comparison. Really interested to see what they're up to now. Possibly one of my contenders for Whiskey of the Year, Woodford Rye, along with Lagavulin 8. Those two have been two of my favourites of the year so far, along with a few others. I'll be reviewing this quite soon anyway, because it's a very special whiskey to me. It means quite a lot. Big old good flavour with that one. Another Dalyuen, 21-year-old single cask from Hunter Lang, part of their old malt cask range. Only 246 bottles, bottled at 50%. Big kind of thick, chewy style. What else we've got? We've got something Joe reviewed not long ago. Got a quarter of a bottle of Noah's Mill left. This one was bottled at 57.15%. To keep it simple, if you like bourbon and you've not tried Noah's Mill, you are seriously missing out. That's an experience in a bottle. Sticking with America, we've got some Sazerac Rye, 6-year-old Sazerac. It's great on its own, it's great with ice, it's great in cocktails. You can't really go wrong with this. It's somewhat of a barman's best friend, along with things like Standard Woodford. Really cool old school New Orleans bottle as well. Harks back to the history of Sazerac and where the cocktails came from. Parker's Heritage wheat-based 13-year-old, 63.4%. I mixed the numbers up on the front. It's like drinking liquidized Nutella. For those of you that don't know what Nutella is, it's like a chocolate hazelnut spread. It's really thick and really addictive. That's it liquidized. We also have Joe reviewed this ages ago, and I think it was the first whiskey he ever gave a 10 to. I might be wrong, but I think it was up there. One of the first anyway. 17-year-old, 1995 vintage Benriach, finished in virgin oak. That is essentially the love child of bourbon and scotch. It's absolutely stupendous. By all means, go and find Joe's video of this review. It's really good. If you want me to review it again, I'll quite happily do so because it's an amazing whiskey. Personal favourite of mine, Compass Box Hedonism. I love Compass Box. I love everything they do. I love everything they stand for. They're a true pioneer in somewhat of a very censored modern whiskey age. Blended grain won World's Best Grain in 2009, and loads of people recommended it. I bought it. I was not disappointed, and I'll be reviewing that soon anyway because it's awesome to talk about grain whiskey and the fun things that grain whiskey can do. Very special bottle to me. 1992 vintage, 22-year-old GlenDronach single cask, bottled at 59.4%, and opened when I found out I got this really cool new flat. So I opened it and celebrate. Did quite a bit of celebrating with that one. Only 576 bottles. Really privileged to own that. Me and a couple of friends went to GlenDronach, along with a few other distilleries last July, and we all said, you know, if they've got our birth year vintages in the distillery, we'll buy them. So I got a 92, colleague got a 93, another colleague got a 1990, even though he was born in 88, but it was a really awesome bottle of whiskey anyway. Got some Macallan 12. That's probably my top 10 whiskies of all time. I really like Macallan 12. It was a brilliant standard bottle of whiskey. It's a bit more expensive now than what it used to be. I've got a couple of bottles to one side for future drinking purposes. Got half a bottle of this left. But yeah, big fan of Macallan 12. The sherry oak one. Sticking with sherry, Mortlach 16, another lost soul in the whiskey world. Was part of the Flora and Fauna range. Is now debunked. It's not made anymore. Normally cost about 80 to 100 quid a bottle on auction sites, but I think I picked that up original retail price for about 55 quid. So yeah, really happy to have that one. Sticking with the Flora and Fauna, Dallion 16. This is my second bottle of this. It's not open yet. I just finished the first bottle of it I ever bought. I do actually prefer that to the Mortlach. I don't care that it's not natural colour, and I don't care that it's chill filtered. It just tastes really good. So that's all that I really care about, to be honest. If it tastes good, I'll drink it. This is that 1992 23-year-old Laddick I was talking about. The tin is just here. Really cool, kind of old school. It reminds me of something from 1984, just really cold steel. But yeah, frosted glass bottle in Octomore fashion. That will be open soon because I don't actually have any standard Bruichladdich open. They're all single casks and bottle splits and that kind of thing. So yeah, be opening that soon. Lovely little bottle. Also during my trip to Scotland last year with some awesome friends, if you become a member of Balvenie's Warehouse 24 Club, it's free to do so, please do it on their website. When you get to the distillery, not only do they give you a 3-hour tour, which includes the tasting of their standard range, you see their cooperage, you see everything, they're wonderful. You get to go into Warehouse 24, and there's 3 barrels, and you can pull out your own sample, and you pay not a lot of money for it. I paid 35 quid for this, and it's a 61.7% first fill sherry 14-year-old, and it's like the colour of Coca-Cola. It's absolutely amazing. I love this whiskey, and it always stains the bottom of the bottle, as non-chill filtered as it gets, really. Signed out by myself and the lovely lady who gave us a tour. 20 CLs, cask number 11270, 7th of July 2015. My name, the lady's name, cask strength, size of the bottle. Really lovely. Would recommend that everyone does it because it's a great tour, it's a great distillery, they're a great brand. Pretty much everything in the William Grants and Sons, portfolio, I just use that word, is really exceptional. Can't love them enough. Sticking with Balvenie, I mentioned in my stag video that I had a selection of bottles put to one side that I know taste good, and I'm just waiting for excuses to open them. So, getting this Whiskey Wednesday review, I open the Stag. Getting this flat, I open that awesome GlenDronach. And I don't have a reason to open this yet, but I'm looking for one. And it won't be opened until I have a good reason, unfortunately. 1980s Balvenie Founders Reserve. 75 CL, so it's an American bottling, bottled at 40%. And to sum it up quite quickly, it is like someone has taken an entire orchard of pears, liquidized them, and put booze in it. It's super green, it's super refreshing. I don't describe a lot of whiskey as refreshing, but this really is. Really old school cognac bottle, becoming quite sought after. But I think the buzz has died down a little bit now, so you might be able to pick them up for quite cheap. I think before auction fees I paid about 80 quid, and it worked out just over 100 after shipping and percentages and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, if you can find one, I would recommend getting it. A familiar one from last week, George T. Stagg. Don't really need to say a lot about that. If you want to know any more about it, go and watch last week's video. Thank you for the lovely comments on the video, by the way, very appreciated. And the crown jewel of my collection, which I managed to pick up last October, well, I say I managed to pick up, a friend managed to pick up for me. Another part of the BTAC range, the William LaRue Weller. Wheat flavoured bourbon, so instead of rye they use wheat as the main flavour grain. 2014 edition, like the Stag, bottled at 70.1%, that's 70.1%. I adore this thing to bits, and as shameful as this is to admit, I've not passed my driving test yet. So when I do pass my driving test, which should be in the next month or so, I'm opening this, and it's going to be one hell of a celebration. Don't drink and drive, I can't encourage that enough. But this is that bottle, it's been put aside for that specific reason, so I am cracking on with the driving right now. But obviously I'm not driving on Wednesdays, because that's when we do these reviews. But that is kind of the mainstay of my whiskey collection. There are a few things that aren't in the flat right now that I've got kept at like parents' houses and that kind of thing. But if you do want to see any of these things reviewed, let me know, just stick a comment below. And there's a few more fun things I've got coming out. I've written some articles on a friend's website called Boom Whiskey, and I've written 3 on there now, but hopefully if it's out before this video is, I'll stick a link below. If not, if you guys follow me through Facebook and Twitter, the link will be through there. And by all means, if you do want to ask me any questions about anything you've seen, anything you want me to review, because there are a few interesting new products coming out that I should review and that I will be doing quite soon. But anyway guys, thank you very much, and like I say, leave comments, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you on Wednesday. Have a good day.